All right, enough of that. Enough beating around the bush. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday to everybody. I feel like I've already seen you guys today. Oh, yeah, I did earlier. Lunch Money Show. Forgot about that. Seems like a long time ago. I was just downstairs messing around, and I'm like, oh, crap. I'm supposed to be going on live for the ranking scene. I had to run up here. We still got 10 minutes, though, so we're still good on that. Who's going to be number 5, folks? Who's going to be number 5? Some people think it's going to be Clemson. The argument I'm hearing, social media and such, is that A&M should be ranked ahead of Clemson for some reason. I guess it's because they're in the SEC and Clemson's not. But they got completely waxed by Alabama. That's the reason I think Clemson will be ranked higher than them. They both have one loss. They both have a good win, right? Top 10 win at the time. Clemson over Miami, A&M over Florida. The difference is the losses. Clemson was double overtime, and A&M's wasn't even a contest against Alabama. So we'll see. What's up, Cameron Cox, Jordan Bowman, Matt Dummett, J-Dog, Bo Weevil says, hey, Pete, what's up, Bo Weevil? J-Dog, Ballard Sports Media, what's up, man? Luke Walker, we better be ranked. Yeah, that'll be interesting, too. I'm interested, not so much about 1-3. I think, well, mean, nobody knows for sure what the committee's going to do. We'll see, but I think Alabama's definitely going to be number 1, right? I think Notre Dame's definitely going to be number 2. They have the best win in the country. 3 and 4. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to have Ohio State at 3, but we'll see. And I think Clemson's going to be 4. I mean, I think that's it, whether it's most polls or rankings that you're looking at, that's what most people have at those 4 in that order. Now, 5 through 10 could get interesting. Where are they going to put Cincinnati? That's another one that I want to know, because I've seen some people think that Cincinnati should be in the top 4 or 5, because you have teams in the top 5 that have a loss, right? And Cincinnati doesn't. Now, again, you have to take strength of schedule into consideration there. But if they do, if they start in the very first ranking as high as 5 or 6, which I don't think they will be. I think they'll be in the top 10. I'm thinking more around 7, 8, 9 range is where the committee will put them. But if they start at 5 or 6 in the first week's rankings and then they go undefeated on here on out, then it will be a conversation of whether they should be in the top 4 at the end of the season, depending on what happens with some other teams. Holy crap, I'm offline. This is why this is why I do. People always ask, why do you do these 10-minute long intros and such? Well, this is one reason why. Well, there's 2 reasons. The 2 main reasons why is, one, I want to give people time to get in here. And the second reason is because of this. Because there's something going on. It's been going on for 3 or 4 months now, that every single time I go live, 6 or 7 minutes into the stream, it cuts off. And then after I refresh it, it never happens again for the rest of the show. I could stream for the next 7 hours straight and it wouldn't cut off. It just does it 5 or 6 minutes into the show every single time. I don't know why. I can tell you it's frustrating as hell, though. What's up, Bears, Cubs, Canes? Byrick is in the house. Talk to the paw. Yeah, I don't know if it's a YouTube thing or if it's an OBS thing. I think it might be an OBS thing for some reason, because it doesn't do it whenever I do my show on Mondays with Mark Rogers on StreamYard. It doesn't cut off. It only does it when I do an OBS stream. So it's got to be OBS. What's up, Cameron? Anyway, what was I talking about? Now I got all flustered. Oh, Cincinnati. Where do you guys think they're going to have Cincinnati? Because where they put them in this first ranking will prime whether they're going to be even considered for the final, to the top 4 at the end of the season. So that'll be interesting. Sports expert says, my fear is OSU being 4. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I have them ranked at 7 in my ranking. Let's pull up mine real quick. You guys are going to have to bear with me because I don't have it all set up. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's already up. There it is. Good. I left it up from the other day. Now, it'll also be interesting to see where they put Northwestern being 5-0. Will they put them ahead of Cincinnati? So I have Cincinnati at 7. Well, you can see it there. Bama 1, Notre Dame 2, Buckeyes 3, Clemson 4, A&M 5, Florida 6, Cincinnati 7, Northwestern 8, Oregon 9, Trojans 10. I don't think 9 and 10 is iffy. I don't even know if I really believe my own my own rankings as far as 10 and 9 go, because the Pac-12's only played a few games. But what's up, Slim Shady? How you doing, brother? Oh, Slim Shady. I don't know if you saw the Lunch Money show today with me and Golden Blue Dude, but you did win the Beat Pete contest from last week. I'll get with Lou about getting him to PayPal you your win early next week, but I'll make sure he does it. He's the gatekeeper of the Lunch Money money. The Lunch Money money. Vanderbilt number 1 for sure. Yeah, right. For some reason I thought USC lost to Arizona. I forgot. Yeah, they're undefeated. They've had a couple of close games. Arizona State, like you said, who was the second week that they played that they almost lost again? Was that against, I can't remember now. I can barely, if it didn't happen today, I don't remember. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for tonight. Cincinnati's where they're going to be, where some of the Pac-12s are going to be after only playing 3 games. And then, what's the other one I was thinking about? That's the main things. Who will be the highest ranked Big 12 team? At this point, I guess, I don't know, will it be Iowa State or Oklahoma? Everybody in the Big 12's got 2 losses. At least 2 losses. I guess if you want to look at who's got the best win in the Big 12, it's got to be Oklahoma's dominating win over Oklahoma State last week, I guess. The highest ranked win. Where's Northwest? That was it. That's who I was thinking about. Kirby Dumb. Kirby Dumb asked a very smart question, ironically enough. Where are they going to put Northwestern at 5-0? I think they'll definitely have them in the top 10, probably right around where I have them. 8 or 9-ish. A&M is too low. What do you mean by low? You mean they should be in the top 4, or you think they're over ranked? I don't understand what you mean by low. Does USC get into the top 10? That's a good question. I have them in my top 10 because they're undefeated, and there's a bunch of 1 and 2 loss teams that will probably be favored against the Trojans on a neutral field if they played this weekend. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's why they rank them where they rank them. They don't go off of what Vegas would say. So I don't know. That'll be an interesting one to see too. They'll be somewhere around there. If they're not in the top 10, they'll be somewhere in the top 12 or 13 at the very worst. Yeah, I think so too. I think Oklahoma probably is the best team in the Big 12. They've just been they started the season out so bad that everyone wrote them off, and I think they did too much damage, probably irreparable damage to their playoff hopes by losing 2 games early in the season. Even if they are one of the best 4 or 5 teams in the country, by the end of the season, having those 2 losses is going to hurt them. Losses have to matter. That's right, sir. I agree. Otherwise, why play the games? What's up, Christian Morgan? How are you? If you aren't in the conversation of winning your conference, then you shouldn't be in the top 4. Well, I don't know. I guess what you're saying is you're talking about A&M, is what I'm assuming you're talking about. I don't know, man. It still has to be who's got, who have you played, who have you beat, who have you lost to, how have you beat the teams that you did beat. And that Florida win is a big deal for them. All right, here we go. Looks like it's coming on. What is this? Yeah, also, where will they have Florida? I don't know. I'm assuming I think my top 10 is going to be pretty close to theirs. I mean, it'll never be exactly the same. It'll be pretty close, though. Wisconsin and Minnesota canceled. Great. Great news. More cancellations. Yeah. Yeah, I think Clemson's going to be at 4 as well. I don't think that they'll be punished or anything for not playing against Florida State. That was obviously a medical thing, and I don't think they're punishing any teams for a game that's canceled for COVID or under the guise of COVID, whether you agree with it or not. Yeah, poor Wisconsin. That's their third game that they've had canceled so far this season. That's ridiculous. Luke Walker, did you like just stumble over the keyboard? What happened there? Yeah, unfortunately for Wisconsin, I think their season is over. Well, first of all, each conference set a threshold for the amount of games that you have to play to even be considered to play in the Big Ten championship. So I think at this point, I don't think they meet that. I don't think they can meet that threshold unless they reschedule some of these games. I don't know, but I think missing more than 2 games puts you out. I know if you miss more than 3 games, you're out of the conversation. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 where the threshold is. Normally in the past several years, they've made a big deal about the people who are on the committee. And so every year, some of the people are the same from this year as they were from last year and the year before. But I know there's at least a few new committee members. I don't know who they are. I haven't really looked into the committee much as far as the personnel at all this season. The ACC is using head-to-head over win percentage. Well, no, the ACC is using the best conference record, and then for a tiebreaker they'll use head-to-head. And if you have a complicated tie, I think they go to ranking after that. I'm not 100% sure about that. What's up, Mike? Romney. I don't know, sir. See, this people who don't know how to listen. He says, remember when you and others said Notre Dame had no chance? I literally said the opposite. So you just hear what you want to hear, like most fans do. Looked it up this morning. Oh, you talking about the ACC thing? Is this a show that's on? Yes, it's on ESPN. Yeah, that's what I'm watching. I can't put the actual ESPN on the screen because it's a copyright violation. Oh, look at Romney. Why are you here, Romney? Huh? You're a fan of mine. You watch everything I do. You follow me on Twitter. And then you come on here and trash me, but clearly you like me because you're here. What's up, Paul Jameson? Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. How are you doing? Paul, I watched Paul's got, you got a YouTube channel still. You're not doing a lot of football stuff on there. What was the one I watched that I thought was really interesting? You were interviewing a guy. What was that guy? The professor from Georgia Tech, I think, about the diet. I thought that was interesting. I actually showed that to my wife. Thought that was good. Yes, I have a Roadcaster Pro. Thank you, Slim Shady. What happens if Miami, Clemson, and Notre Dame all end with one loss? Well, Clemson's got the tiebreaker over Miami. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I'll answer that in a second. 25 Tulsa, 24 Iowa, 23 Oklahoma State, 22 Auburn, and Marshall 21. Nothing surprising there. Bunch of 2-loss teams, and then Marshall sitting there with sitting there undefeated. That does tell me something about what they're thinking about the group of 5, though. I don't know. Maybe Cincinnati won't be ranked as high as I think if Marshall's 7-0 and they're at all the way up at 21. Auburn's record's 5-2. Yeah, Tulsa's ranked. Coastal Carolina is at 20. North Carolina at 19. There you go, Luke. You were worried about them not being ranked. They're ranked 19. Southern Cal, 18. Woo! Whoa. 17 Texas and 16 Wisconsin. Man. I can't wait to hear the explanation for this. You have an undefeated team at 18. It's got to be because they've only played 3 games. I can't believe they had them that low. I mean, I thought like I said, I thought Southern Cal would at least be up in the top 15, like 13 at the lowest. I would have had to, Funky Fudge, I would have had to prepare that to put them up on the screen. It'd take me too long to do that now. 15 Oregon. I got them at 9. So they're punishing the Pac-12 for the least amount of games played. That's just all there is to it. BYU is ahead of Oregon. See, that's what I'm talking about. BYU's at 14. Iowa State at 13. Indiana at 12. Oklahoma at 11. So they're going to have Miami at 10. It's got to be, right? Miami's going to be at 10. See, this is silly. I understand BYU's 9-0, but Oregon might only have 3 wins, but they have 3 Power 5 wins. Guess how many Power 5 wins BYU has? 0. Ten Miami. See, I was right about that. Just because it hadn't been ranked yet. Miami cracks the top 10. Kirby says Miami shouldn't even be ranked. Well, sir, I mean, they're 7-1. They're only lost at the Clemson. Of course they should be ranked. Georgia at 9. This is way different than I thought it was going to look. I'm not going to lie. I thought Georgia's going to be somewhere around 13 or 14. Maybe 12, 13, 14-ish. 2 losses. And one of them wasn't even close. I mean, the Alabama game wasn't close. Dennis Wilson's mad about Miami being in the top 10. He's a Miami fan. Georgia's higher ranked. Yeah, that is funny. That Georgia's higher ranked than Miami. That ought to go over well on YouTube. There we go. Northwestern 8. That's where I have them. All right, I got one right there. Of course, my rankings are not a prediction of the playoff rankings. My rankings are my opinion. They're not a projection or a prediction. Who's going to be 7? Cincinnati? It's got to be Cincinnati, right? They're inconsistent, though. Cincinnati, all the way up in the top 7 at the very least, but they have Coastal Carolina and Marshall all the way down in 19 and 20. Inconsistent. It is kind of weird seeing Georgia at 9. I'm not going to lie. 2-loss team. 7 Cincinnati. So that's where I've had them all. I've had Cincinnati at 7 for a month now. The past 4 rankings. Past 4 weeks. Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but that's still there's a big gap there still. I mean, what you're saying is because of the level of play from Cincinnati compared to the other group of 5 teams. I understand that. I do, and I think Cincinnati's the best team in the group of 5, but there's a huge difference between 7 and 19 when you both are undefeated. I don't know. All right, now they're going to try to tease us. That's what they always do. So they've gone down 7. So I think what they'll do now, typically, if I remember correctly, don't they start counting up from 1 now, or something like that? Or maybe they go down to 5, and then they start counting 1, 2, and 3, and 4. What's up, Trucker Tim? Style points. That's got to be what it is. Yeah, Notre Dame should be 2. I mean, Jabari says the Sun Belt Conference USA level of play is low. Top 10 FCS teams are better than most of the Sun Belt. Well, the Sun Belt has a bunch of wins against Big 12 teams this year, like 2 or 3 of them. Can't be that bad. 6 Florida. So I've got 8, 7, and 6 right. 5 A&M. I got that right. I think I'll nail the rest of them too. So I think I'll nail the top 8 here. Yeah, they start from the top at this point. And it'll be Alabama and Notre Dame at 1 and 2. I mean, I'm almost certain about that. And if for some reason they have Ohio State ahead of Notre Dame, watch shit hit the fan. Because Notre Dame has the best win in the country. The highest ranked win. I mean, they beat the number 1 team in the country. Nobody else has a number 1 win. Alabama 1. Notre Dame 2. So it's official. It's going to be Ohio State 3, Clemson 4. There's no way they're putting Clemson ahead of Ohio State with Clemson having a loss. Clemson 3. Oh shit. Oh my God! First of all, I disagree with it. I think that Ohio State should be ranked higher. So, but it's still funny though. So what is the I wonder what the reasoning behind this? And this is going to be the question that everybody's asked. Why would they put Clemson ahead of Ohio State? I don't get it. I don't get it. Is it just because they played more games and they're 7-1? And Ohio State's only played 4 games? That's got to be the reason. It's the only logical reason. Why is A&M at 5? Same reason I have them at 5 on my rankings. They only have 1 loss. They have a top 10 win against Florida. And their only loss is to the best team in the country at Alabama. Wilkie, thank you, sir. What's up, Pete? What's up, man? How you doing? Getting ready for the Thanksgiving. Hopefully you're going to enjoy some time off of work. I know you were stressed out earlier today. Well, the reason you got to have A&M ahead of Florida is because A&M has the head-to-head. They beat Florida. Again, you know, out of all the one-loss teams, the A&M has the best resume, I guess. A win over Florida and a loss to the number 1 team. It's not impossible for A&M to get in. If Alabama wins, if A&M wins out the rest of their games, if Alabama wins out and wins the SEC and beats Florida, there's a chance that A&M could get in there. And here's what's going to depend on. It's not likely. It certainly is possible. It's not likely. The first thing that needs to happen if you're A&M is you need Notre Dame to beat Clemson in the ACC championship. All right, because if Clemson beats the Irish, it's possible that both Notre Dame and Clemson could both get into the playoffs. Now, if Notre Dame wins, that knocks Clemson out. They'll have 2 losses. They won't be an ACC champ. They're out. So if you're an A&M fan, you're actually rooting for Notre Dame to win out. That would help your chances out. It also depends on what happens with Ohio State. It also depends on what happens with Oregon. or whoever from the Pac-12, most likely Oregon. And then I think the Big 12 is unfortunately out of it. Even if, again, like I said earlier, even if Oklahoma is one of the best 4 teams, 2 losses, don't see it happening. Any of the top 6 have a chance. Yeah, you're right. They have a chance. Still a lot of football to be played. I mean, a few weeks, but still, that's a lot in the playoff conversation. Some big matchups coming up too. You know what? You're right, Mike. They are showing a little bit more love to the ACC than I'm used to, with having Miami at 10. Of course, you know, I don't consider Notre Dame to be an ACC team, but technically they are this year. So there's three ACC in the top 10 and 2 in the top 3, which is pretty unbelievable if you think about it. What size of monitor do I use? You mean for my computer? This is a Razer laptop. So it's I don't know how 14 inches or something. It's pretty big. I don't know exactly how big it is. Oh yeah, what was your earlier question? I know you sent the super chat. Let me go back and look at it. Damn it. What happens if Miami, Clemson, and Notre Dame all end with 1 loss? Okay, so here's the deal. That is a good question. Notre Dame or Clemson beat Miami, so they hold the tiebreaker with Miami. Notre Dame beat Clemson, so they would hold the tiebreaker against Clemson. So the question is, I don't know where they go after. I think they either go by ranking, by final ranking, or maybe common opponents for all 3 teams. But I don't even know if all 3 teams have all common opponents. They probably. As a matter of fact, I'm sure they don't. It's a good question. I don't really know the answer to that. It's got to be playoff ranking. Whoever's ranked highest. Kirby Dumb says Texas A&M won't get in. He'll bet his life on it. Well, I'm agreeing with you that they probably won't, just because the chances are low, but it's not impossible. I don't think they're going to get in either. They have a chance, though, a small chance. It also depends how these games play out, too. I mean, we're highly ranked teams will shoot you up the rankings real quick. Funky Fudge says they go by the opponent's combined records. That's an interesting one. In that case, Clemson would win. I think Clemson would win. Because if you look at it, well, at least 2 of their opponents, Miami and Notre Dame, only have 1 loss or are undefeated. And the rest of the ACC is about the same. You know, most of the ACC, I mean, you have North Carolina sitting there with, what, 2 losses? Most ACC teams have more than 2 losses, though, so. Rondo Weems, you saw my question? No, did I? Will it be 3 SEC teams in the college football playoff if Texas A&M wins out and Florida wins out and beats Alabama in the... Hold on, let me think about this for a second. Well, there'll be 3 SEC teams in the playoffs. First of all, that's not happening. So I'll go ahead and tell you that right now. They're not putting 3 teams from one conference in there. But I'm going to entertain what your idea is here for a second. If Texas A&M wins out, okay. Florida wins out and beats Bama in the SEC championship game. I see where you're saying there because A&M has a win over Florida. Florida would win the SEC, and Alabama would be sitting there with 1 loss. I understand where you're going with that. I still don't think so, though. Because then you would have to leave. I mean, there would be teams that are undefeated in Power 5 conferences that would be left out, and they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. What's up, Kevron? If Florida and A&M played today, would Florida win, or Florida would win? Well, I don't know how you could say that. They already played and they didn't win. I mean, maybe. Oregon Duck says these rankings are garbage. Yeah, I thought they disrespected Oregon, my friend. You see where I have them. Right? I had Oregon in my top 10. I had them at 9, as a matter of fact. The committee just totally disrespected Oregon. What was Oregon? They were like... What were they? They were like 16. They weren't even in the top 15. All right, they were 15 then. I know I feel like that's only because they played only 3 games, and then the one last week was very close. Maybe that's the only reason I can think. Yeah, I don't think it really matters though. If Oregon goes undefeated and wins the Pac-12 championship, I think they're going to get in the playoffs, and mainly because of what's going on in the Big 12. The Big 12 has really helped out the Pac-12 by having teams with multiple losses. So Oregon, all Oregon has to do is just keep winning. They can't afford to lose a game now. That's the thing. But if they keep winning, they'll creep their way up the rankings each week. So they'll eventually pass Oklahoma and teams like that, and they'll make their way up there, I think. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Drava says Notre Dame is overrated. I mean, how are they overrated? They're undefeated, and they have they're the only team in the rankings that have a win over or the number 1 team in the country at the time in Clemson. I don't see how you can say that's overrated. Yeah, it's your opinion, but I think we can all agree that Alabama should be ranked number 1. I don't think there's any controversy as far as that goes. I can't see the rankings. Who's in the top 10? Yeah, every team's overrated to the trolls. I wish I would have written it down now because I have such a bad memory. Miami was at 10. Wilkie, this is for you, Wilkie. Miami was at 10. Georgia was at 9, which was another shocking one. Northwestern was at 8. Cincinnati was at 7. Florida was at 6. A&M was at 5. Ohio State was at 4. Clemson at 3. Notre Dame at 2, and Alabama at 1. That's what the top 10 was. That was the most shocking part, was to see Miami and Georgia at 9 and 10. I did not see that coming. Yeah, exactly. And BYU is ranked where they should be. I 100% agree with that. Yeah, and that's another good question, Mike. Comment, Mike. Clemson and Notre Dame will work itself out. Again, though, if Clemson wins the ACC, beats Notre Dame, finishes with 1 loss, ACC champ, they're in. Notre Dame loses to Clemson in a close game, they might not fall out of the top 4. So pretty much everybody in the country, especially if you're a fan of one of these teams that's like on the bubble, you know, they all want Notre Dame to beat Clemson to help their chances out. I'm looking forward to that game this weekend. North Carolina and Notre Dame. I'm looking forward to that. I think it's a trap. I mean, look, I think Notre Dame's a better team, and I think they're probably going to win. But it could be a tricky one, especially Notre Dame has 2 of their key offensive linemen out, and that's a big deal. Game's in North Carolina. Yeah. Well, I'm considering Friday. It's actually Friday afternoon, not Friday night. It's Friday at 3:30 Eastern. I consider that the weekend because it's Thanksgiving. I do not underestimate Mac Brown ever. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You know what, Wilkie? I really don't know yet. So from now and through Friday, everything's up in the air. Like, I don't know if I'll be streaming. I want to, and I'm gonna try to do my normal call-in show at 10 p.m. tomorrow night. But obviously, since Thanksgiving's the next morning, I don't know what my day is gonna look like Thursday morning. I'll get a better idea tomorrow. So it's just gonna, we'll see. I don't know. Anywho, all right, guys, I got to hop off of here. I just wanted to come and chat with you guys. We had over 100 people in here at one point. That's good. Thank you to all the people that normally stop by and show love. All the people that sent donations, Wilkie and Slim Shady Canes, and I think there might have been another one. I don't want to forget anybody. Shit. Maybe that was only two. Anyway, thanks everyone for stopping in. If you're new here, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and the subscribe button. I do these college football videos and live streams year round. There is no off season for Pigskin Pete. And I will see you guys very soon. Take it easy. Be safe. Happy Thanksgiving.